Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, the rain stopped, I don't know, 3 hours ago or so. And so I've just decided to go out and walk around a little bit and just kind of see the damage. Because some people are reporting mostly just because of flooding damage. So, I'm checking the creek. There is a spot, back over here where some pretty good sized logs got kind of wedged in the creek, and because it's higher. Actually, no, I'm pointing the wrong direction. It's that way. It messes me up on looking at this screen because it's backwards. Anyways, and so some leaves and stuff have gotten packed in, and it's creating a good sized little pool there, which is fine. It's not doing any damage now, but I will get it cleaned out. But anyways, I thought I would sit here on this wet tree stump while I wet my backside, sitting here on this wet tree stump, and talk to you. I'm not really sure what. It's like there's this desire to say something, but I'm not sure what I'm going to say. I don't know. I just posted a video over on Patreon talking about how weakness is going to get a lot of people killed. So I don't want to repeat that, but it's definitely going to be a problem because there's a lot of it. We're weak because this modern civilization that we've created allows people to be weak. It's easy. Weakness is easy, right? And so people can, worry about what pronouns they're being called, or that you accept them because they're huge, or they're just hyper feminine and they don't want to. It's icky, it's gross, it's dirty, it's too hard, it's sweat, all this kind of stuff. And society accepts it, right? It's okay. But in the future, maybe near future, as things continue to get worse, much like as in nature, people that are weak, especially exceedingly weak, will just be an easier target. They'll be culled out of the herd, just like the hyenas do with the whatever animals, the buffalo or anything like that, that are weak. And so that's a good incentive to toughen up because it's needed. The news is so-so today. I mean, there's things happening that I could certainly talk about. Nothing that's like breaking news spectacular. I mean, there was some pretty significant solar flares today. Nothing that's gonna like knock anything out. X1.5, X2 kind of thing. Basically what that's just showing is that the sun's becoming pretty active. And I would say that the odds of eventually having one that really causes a lot of damage are increasing. Okay, so it's just one other thing that we have to worry about is a really big solar flare, CME, that knocks us back to the Stone Age. I'm pretty sure the United States wants a war with China, probably a lot more than they want a war with Russia. I don't know that I don't even really understand why they're doing what they're doing with Russia, other than the only thing that makes any sense is that, Ukraine's got to be our money laundering capital. And I'm sure it's because it's worked out great for us over the last decade or two. But you can't tell me that someone up there's like, hey, we'd just be better off to find another country to overthrow and take over and just become our money laundering capital, and we'll just let Ukraine fall to the wayside. Maybe Zelensky really does have some really good dirt on Biden and other people in the administration. I don't know. It's silliness though. But I'm pretty sure that the United States wants a war with China. And as much as people that run this country we want to talk bad about, make fun of, point out all of their weaknesses and stupidity, I do believe that our country has very, very intelligent people running it, or at least in higher levels. And I'm sure that they have figured out the same thing that myself, many others here on YouTube, authors, experts, historians, economists, have all figured out, that America is showing signs of regressing in its global power, and China is showing signs of its increasing in global power. And at some point in time, historically, it's been proven that those two powers are going to collide. And once the dust settles, we'll figure out who is the next leader of the world order. And China wants to be that, and we want to retain our position. I would guess that many people in certain important positions in our government know this. So they know it's going to happen. And if you read all the rhetoric, it's constantly getting ready for that. In fact, there's not really anything saying, oh, no, we're never going to be in conflict with the Chinese. They're our friends. We're never going to go to war with them. No, it's not going to be right now. That's usually what they say. We don't expect a war with China in the next few months, but, 2 years maybe, 3 or 4 years, it's possible. But not right now. So they know it's going to happen. They expect it's going to happen. China is doing everything it can to build its economy and its industrial base so that it doesn't need America as much. And I know a lot of you say that's absolutely ridiculous, that China has made so much money off of the United States, selling us all this cheap stuff. And you're right. I mean, we're a big chunk of their economy. But we're not the only part of their economy. In fact, China has absolutely taken over Africa. Do you know that there's huge mall-type shopping centers in Africa? I mean, they're called China Mart. That's exactly what they're called. And they're like everything you can imagine all under one building. Grocery store, department store, mechanic store, farm store, car store, every kind of store you can imagine, all under one roof. And sure, it's Chinese stuff, but the fact is that China is doing a lot in Africa. It's almost like we've completely abandoned Africa. And I think that how we handled going into Africa over these last few decades was wrong. We followed very much the British, the British way of trying to reform Africa, bring them Christianity, bring them democracy and civility and all this. And the Chinese, they don't care. They just don't seem to care about that stuff as long as you're buying our stuff. You can live however you want. You can, believe whatever you want. We don't care. We're not missionaries. We're just trying to get you to buy our stuff. And honestly, at least for right now in certain places, that seems to be effective and working. So, and then China's also making big impacts in other countries. So will they need us? Well, maybe not as much. And just because there's a war, and if they won, it doesn't mean that we're going to go away. In fact, we would still most likely exist as a people and even as a government. We would just be kind of subservient in a way. So we would still be buying their stuff. In fact, we might be buying more of their stuff if they beat us in a war. So looking at it through those lenses, it might be just a win-win situation for China to take us on if they believe that they can actually accomplish that. I know many think that they can't. I'm kind of in that group that thinks that it's possible. I understand they have a very unexperienced military, but they have a lot of it. And their technology is growing, and they can grow it fast. So if they can hold off for just another year or two, their advancement of technology and their ability to manufacture a lot of stuff is way better than ours. And a lot of the resources that we use to manufacture our stuff comes from them. And even if their stuff isn't as high quality or highly advanced as us, they have much more capability of outproducing us, doing basically what we did in Germany to the Nazis. I mean, I don't think anyone would get on here and argue that during World War II, the Nazis' technology and the quality of their equipment was superior to us. They had better planes, better tanks, all kinds of stuff. But we outproduced them. We produced smaller tanks that, didn't have as much armor, but we outproduced them. And that's exactly what China could do to us. So I think that there is a very big risk there. And the changing of the world order, it almost has to happen, whether you want it to or I want it to or not. It almost has to happen. It's always happened. It's a cycle. You can go back hundreds and hundreds of years, and it's always a cycle. So I think it is going to happen, and I think we have to prepare ourselves. And hopefully people that are running this country and the ones that will be running it in the future aren't going to be so stupid that they do some really dumb things by getting involved with multiple countries. Because while if we got involved with China, we may lose, but we could probably survive that as a people. But if we get involved with China, North Korea, and Iran, and Russia, and whoever else, we may not survive at all as a nation, going to war with all of those. And so that's kind of stuff we really should be preparing for and getting our houses in order. Toughen up, get ready, stock up, get fit, get prepared, get your heart right with the Lord, because you're going to need it. Folks, it's time to get your house in order, to prepare mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.